Let's connect with Mr. R. Sharma, former Chairman Managing Director of ONGC and the current Chairman of FICCI Hydrocarbon Committee. Mr. Sharma, good morning. What a delight to have you back on ET Now. Glad you could accommodate this interview request. Mr. Sharma, what's happening in the entire oil marketing space, or for that matter, the Indian energy sector, is actually laughable. Crude prices have gone up. Petrol has been decontrolled. Crude prices have gone up by about 15% in the last 1 year, and we still haven't got a single price hike after December.
Yes, in fact, look at the entire energy sector. You know, all the fossil fuels, coal, oil, gas, they contribute 94% of the energy basket. And all these three segments, there's a chaotic situation today. And the more worrisome thing is the situation is worsening very fast. The outlook seems to be very, very disturbing. And I feel somewhere, whatever the measures, the minimal or what optimally should be required to be done, that is not being done, and that is causing further loss of confidence in all these PSUs, in the entire sector, and I feel that is causing a lot of negativities for the whole economy.
Mr. Sharma, good morning. Just to stretch that point forward, do you think with the government's inability to hike fuel prices, rupee consistently falling more importantly, and India's increasing dependence on imported natural gas with its own reserves disappointing on output front, is India headed for an energy crisis? Is that the feeling that you're getting?
Aisha, I have gone on record to say that we are heading towards a very major energy crisis. Whether you take coal contributes 51% of the energy basket. Oil and gas both jointly contribute about another 43%. In all these three segments, we find import dependence is increasing very, very alarmingly. And, there are whatever the domestic production optimally that can be produced, not being produced. Again, I feel there's something, what is required to be done. Some radical measures are required. They are not being taken. And the indecision, uncertainties, they are causing a lot of damage to the whole, the production or the total energy sector.
So do you think a fuel price hike is inevitable, say in another week's time?
It is. It has to be. In a week's time. I see that this should be coming within this week. Could be end of this week. Minister is away to Turkmenistan. Maybe when he comes, could be we might see an increase happening within this weekend or within this month, definitely.
Mr. Sharma, but with the price hike being almost an urgency, so to speak, do you think the government will only touch upon petrol alone, or more contentious diesel and LPG prices also will have a marginal hike?
I somehow feel that there's going to be marginal hike in diesel and kerosene also. Diesel and LPG also. Kerosene seems to be difficult, because in diesel now the companies are losing how much? Almost 14 rupees a litre, and on a LPG cylinder about 480 rupees the cylinder. Actually, losing is not the right word. I would say the under recoveries. But under recoveries, to what extent is the actual loss under recovery? But the fact is, based on the benchmark prices to be given to these companies as per the government notification, they are getting a lesser price, and as a result that is doing immense harm to their bottom lines. And the companies being kept on life support system towards the end of the fiscal. Why end of the fiscal? For the quarter ending March. Now this subsidy support decision has come just 2 days back. So that is not the way the listed company should be treated, and I have been very consistent in telling that it is not impossible, though difficult, to make out a mechanism. In fact, I feel so much helpless, and I know it is possible. Maybe that I volunteer my services, in a month's time a mechanism can be worked out. Whatever subsidies have been given towards the end of the year, if a mechanism gets put in place, the companies will get the same amount of subsidy. Government will have to shell out the same amount of the subsidy support. But only thing is to address the uncertainties. The uncertainties are not being addressed. the decisions being taken as a stopgap measure and towards when everything is driven to the wall. I don't think that is the way that companies should be run. That is the way the sector should be managed. I feel there needs to be more professionalism in addressing the issues of this sector. We must realize all these downstream companies, IOC, HPC, BPC, they are Fortune 500 companies. IOC is country's #1 Fortune 500 companies. And look at how they are support they are giving to the economy. Despite so much under recoveries, at any nook and corner of the country, there is no shortage of any petroleum products. That goes to the credit of the management of these companies. But I feel they have to be addressed with due care by the policymakers.
But do you think the management of BPCL, they certainly deserve a pat on the back, because they have managed to go global? They are regulated by the same regulator. In a tough environment, they've managed to create and protect the market cap.
Of course, I'll give all credit to Mr. Ashok Sinha, the then chairman BPCL. Despite all odds, he went out and started acquiring the assets, and I feel that was a very, very bold and very professional decision taken, and the company is reaping the benefits now. Thing is, if you start criticizing the companies when they take decisions, and when the decisions are taken, if any decision turns out to be negative, then criticism starts and the allegations start. That sort of issue should be avoided. There must be trust and confidence into the management of these companies. I have been into the sector. I find the talent base in this oil sector is unparalleled. Even the private sector, all the companies, they are pinching the talent from these companies only. They are running. Or these people are going overseas working for the foreign companies. So why they are not being treated with respect within the company when they are working?
So my follow-up question, Mr. Sharma, is that what BPCL has managed to achieve, why is that ONGC, Videsh or HPCL or IOC, they have failed to achieve that?
Look, that's not, I feel, in the hindsight, trying to find fault. What OVL has achieved, that is commendable. You look at the entire portfolio. In the year 2001, they had just one exploration asset. And how that portfolio has been built, that has been giving return, just because one investment somewhere is not giving the desired result. The CAGs after the company, that the company has caused so much loss to the exchequer. That kind of mindset has to go. And that totally disturbs, totally shakes the confidence of the management. And, so that is the main issue. So, otherwise, one has to look the entire performance, the entire portfolio. The company continues to give whatever investments have been made in the past. All have paid back, whether Sudan, whether Sakhalin, whether Vietnam, Syria, all the investments have paid back. Why only criticism only for one asset? Give them the space, they will make more investments, and the entire portfolio has to perform. That has been performing, and I'm confident that they're going to perform. The investment in Venezuela, they are going to pay a good return. So one has to look the much wider that canvas and look at how the company has been performing. So I feel that short term, the narrow mindset of criticizing for one particular decision, that's not correct.
Mr. Sharma, do you think despite the new cess, Cairn India and ONGC will be able to manage their realizations due to higher volumes? Because Cairn has been pretty an investor-friendly company, I should say.
Oh yes. Cairn is, in fact, Cairn management has to be commended. In fact, right from the time they came into India, they were doing the exploration. We have been in touch with their teams. In fact, this is one company, they are especially the exploration team, and later on when development of this asset came, this was a Bardbeer field was, in fact, when the discovery was made, a major question mark was whether at all the production will be able to come. One has to compliment the management of these companies, and I should personally, I would like to compliment Rahul Dheer and his team. They are doing tremendously well, and a little bit credit to myself also, that when I was chairman, we gave full support to the management of these companies for the decision making, despite deference on fiscal issues and other things.